And it was a very humbling lesson for me, to be able to say that, to know that sometimes telling someone that this is as far as we can go is just as important as being able to retain that person. Because sometimes me telling you that this is as far as this company can take you can actually now give you can actually help you now broaden your mind and allow you to seek out other opportunities instead of staying there and being told, okay, now we don't have salary. So now, okay. So now to do. Na tunafanya kazi tufanye. So that's not what you want.
Hi guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Pulpit podcast. This is episode 12. I'm your host, Tracy Ann. Na kama kawaida, we are here with another amazing episode. Stay tuned for the guest of today because inayo ni moto. Before we get into it, do not forget to follow us on our social media platforms. Instagram at Beyond the Pulpit _Kenya. YouTube, you're at BTP Kenya. Please subscribe. We're at 200 and something subscribers as at today. Let's get to 1,000. I think we can do 1,000 by the end of the year, but check it. No pressure. Okay, no pressure. Subscribe, share it to your families and make sure they subscribe. Yeah, content is amazing sana. You do not want them to miss out on it. Thank you for watching and paying attention to our previous episodes. We know the loyal ones. We know the ones who give us feedback. We know the ones who are always sharing with us what they learned. So we appreciate you. We are doing this for you and we appreciate the feedback. Give us more feedback if there's anything you want us to change, if there's anything you want to hear us talking about. Content ni yenu. So we will do as you say for as long as it fits the definition of Beyond the Pulpit. So karibuni sana to this episode. Now let's turn to my very busy co-host.
Hi, how are you?
Uko salama?
Niko salama.
Karibu sana to this podcast.
Asante sana kwa kunikaribisha.
Invite kama guest. Umekuaje?
Let me tell you. I should ningepick nini shati yenye kuna a bigger fit.
Why? It's tight.
Hey, ama ni the muscles. I don't know.
Ni kitambi. Inaonekana si muscles. Huwezi jicompare na
nani? Sasa anavaa small lakini bado.
Huwezi jicompare.
Otherwise niko poa.
Kijana mdogo.
Wewe.
Kijana mzee. Unajua guest wetu wa leo?
Namjua.
Unamuona?
Namuona. Naona hata jeshi yake.
Amekuja na jeshi
yake. So I'm like guys, daddy will be on TV.
Yeah.
They're so happy.
He'll be so excited. Yeah. So karibu sana Ngahu.
Yeah.
Okay, jina ya kwanza inanishinda. Okay, si kunishinda, but I don't know.
You've
Denis.
never used it.
Yeah,
ever.
It's Ngahu. Yeah, so karibu sana.
Okay.
Denis Ngahu to Beyond the Pulpit. This is Beyond the Pulpit podcast. This is our guest seat. I hope you're comfortable. Feel free to talk about anything and everything. We are a very accommodative episode. Accommodative place podcast.
Yes.
We are very free with each other. You can talk about literally anything that fits Beyond the Pulpit, right?
Yes.
I know you're a fan. I know you're
and a subscriber.
Yeah, I know you're a fan and a subscriber.
No pressure.
So thank you. Yes, pressure. Please subscribe. Yes, pressure. I know. Juu kuna episode umetoka kutuambia uliwatch, so that's how you know you are a loyal person. Now it's your turn.
Okay.
Now it's your turn to tell people to subscribe to your utawasho utasukumia familia na mabeshte ikitu so yes so karibu sana. I can't wait to get to know you. Not met in so many years. Tulikuwa kwa harusi ya mse fulani hapa last year. Ilikuwa tu ile flash kadoni. Yeah, so it was ile tu Ngahu still exist.
You're still there.
Yeah, you're still there. Good.
Tuongelee ile our guest.
Yeah, Gadoni. Yeah. That's where I saw him, but it's been ages. It's been ages since I've seen you and even interacted with you, so I'm pretty much excited for this one. Uko excited?
Me too.
Niko excited.
Amazing.
I love
what you guys are doing here.
Thank you.
And I'm really hoping that you keep consistent.
We will. Tuko na producer hapa. Let me tell you, without our producer, itabidi. Inabidi. There's no letting go.
Oh yeah.
We are not letting go of this one
Produce
easily.
some strict.
Okay.
Yo.
Strict.
Yeah. But
Lazima
he's
kukuwe na
building
show every
single week.
Is
Na
it?
kama episode imeharibika, we are repeating the episode.
Wow.
We are
I love the discipline.
It is.
So, yeah.
It is.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. I can't complain honestly because isn't it mimi personally nitakuwa nina deal nazo in future. So I need it. I need such a person to keep pushing me. Yeah. So
No, yeah. That's what she's saying in future cause yako kazi. It's a profession for her. Mi kwangu hii ni hobby for her.
yeah, this is a career thing. This is something I want to.
That's why she's the host. Only kiti ni yeye.
That's very smart.
They don't know. They didn't know. That's why I'm on my own seat. But that's why. Maybe we're sitting a Larry. But anyway, karibu sana. So you can introduce yourself with your name, full name. Who Ngahu is, what Ngahu does.
Okay.
And then after that, you can tell us a little bit of your kidogo upbringing, and then we talk a lot about careers. We get to know you guys beyond the pulpit, beyond serving in church, beyond So we'll get straight into that.
Awesome. So I have 3 government names. Denis Ngahu Kamau. I am defined a lot by people like my family. I have 2 kids, a boy and a girl, and a wife. I actually started with that. I have a wife.
Yeah, because the wife came first.
I am a husband of but one wife.
and she's a woman.
And then she's a woman.
One woman.
Yes, and I have 2 kids. Together we have 2 kids. And we've been having a lot of fun. Currently my wife is not around. She's studying. So it's just me and the kids. We've been just having a lot of time. A lot of fun bonding. And crying when I take them to the hospital. Oh man. Those are not easy
this fatherhood thing.
Motherhood is easier, but fatherhood and motherhood combined,
because you have to take that.
You have to take the mantle.
Yeah.
But you're doing a good job.
You
when he went out to get biscuits, he took
you were really concerned.
And he also took for his sister.
For his sister.
Yeah.
That was the cutest thing. I don't think my brother could have done that.
Oh yeah. They've learned to share. They're amazing kids.
Yeah.
They've taught me a lot. So beyond family, I also work. I'm being taxed as in for working.
Just to put it out there, KRA did not come for you.
Yeah, like they already know me. They already know me. So I run a company. It's called Alternate Limited. Software development. So when you say software development, sometimes it's very out there. Like it's this thing called software development. But ideally, what any software developer should be aiming to do is providing solutions using technology.
Okay.
Right? And that's what we do. And to be honest, it's one of the things that I have a passion for. It really drives me. Bibi yangu angekuwa hapa angesema it's like my first wife. But we shall hii podcast itamfikia.
Lazima imfikie.
So it's one of it's something that I've really loved. I've been doing it for over 14 years now.
Wow.
So just building solutions, getting into a place, hearing what their problems are. Even right here, I'm pretty sure there are some problems that I could definitely figure out and we could solve them using technology. So I personally feel it's technology is very applicable across all of life's facets. So
Okay. So let's get into a little bit of your upbringing, school.
Yeah, very interesting. So
where did you grow up?
I've lived not everywhere, in different places. So I started at my first few years, not few really, quite a number, since I was since I was born till I was like in class 6, we were living in Kikuyu. Then we moved to Kahawa West. So in Kikuyu, I was in one school called Kit Famako. Then came to Kahawa West, went to Marion. I don't know if there's any Marionette here. Then I went now to high school again, 2 schools. That was Sunshine and Moho. Kwa previous president. Well, familia yao.
Yeah.
Then
Aya ni yao.
Moho.
He even has a son called Moho.
So the name is theirs.
Okay.
But it's currently run by the Catholic Church.
Okay. Okay.
But he
That will have been a
came
new
and
discovery.
they used to sponsor several things in that place.
Yeah, because that name is.
It's a place.
Yeah. Okay.
So then I went to university. Again, 2 universities.
Aye.
I just don't understand how that happened.
Okay.
But, so, yeah, I went to a university called, a college called Agastana. Then ikachomeka.
Mlichoma.
Atukuchoma.
Okay.
We are very, very studious people.
Okay.
So atukuchoma. I think walichoma. But those are allegations.
Yeah.
So ilichomeka. And we now moved to JKUAT Karen, which is where I completed my studies.
Did they transfer the credits?
Oh yes, I was actually doing a JKUAT course at that point.
Oh,
So that's how niliponea. Otherwise, if I was doing their course,
Ungeanza scratch.
I'll have started from scratch, I think. Yeah.
That's a long way back.
I know, right?
That's a
That would
long
have been crazy.
way
I know some
back.
people who are messed because of that, and it's not funny. So I was really grateful to be in a course that allowed me to just transition to another university.
Where did you move from Sunshine to
Mohoho?
Mohoho? Which one came first? Sunshine really
Sunshine,
came. Okay.
yes. Oh man, let me first of all tell you something about life in Sunshine. we had chicken and chapati.
Sunshine yenye iko Nairobi. I confused 2 schools.
Yeah, Sunshine
There's one
in Langata.
no, there's one in Nakuru. In it? Is it China's? I confused Sunshine and China. So
Sunshine Langata.
okay.
So it's it was owned by Moi.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's still owned by the Moi family. So what had happened is when Moi was in power, Sunshine and Kabarak and other Moi schools used to enjoy the perks of being both a public school and a private school. So when Kibaki got into power, I think they were told to choose either you're private or you're public. And so a lot of the schools that were owned by Moi became privatized. And just like that, fees that you were managing
Hiked.
all of a sudden became unmanageable.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's how I ended up going to
A
Moho.
public school.
Yeah. But it was a nice ride for me. I think I loved the time in Moho
2 years.
as well.
Or?
No, 3 years.
Oh,
Yeah, 'cause
ulimaliza tu
I'd
form
only
4.
done 1 year. I'd only done 1 year in Sunshine.
Oh.
So the rest of my high school life, I went into Moho, made amazing friends who I'm still friends with today. Yeah. All over the
Awesome.
world, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wali
Watu waliomoka
walitembea.
bana. Watu waliomoka, they're embedded in several places.
That's nice. That's amazing.
Embedded. That's a language msewa developer ndo ata because it's somewhere where we embed something according.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
Okay.
you know jargon ya yetu.
Oh, okay. I think every single career has their own jargon.
Yeah.
Hey, but I only know
She knows about law. She's so
and yet I'm not a lawyer.
But it's not really jargon. It's like words that you use on a daily basis, you know. Cases,
yeah, see
right?
jargon, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'd expect that from you.
Embedded. I wouldn't say embedded on a typical day. Anyway.
That's very interesting. Okay.
So you got into, at what point did you get into software?
So
When did you realize your interest in software?
Software, that's a nice
Or
question.
techie stuff?
So growing up, I knew I wanted to be a scientist.
Wakumix chemicals, sugar, spice, and
now that's the
everything
thing.
nice.
Mimi, exactly. Like Dexter's Lab was my favorite cartoon.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
In fact, I still watch it today.
Oh.
So I mean, I knew I wanted to be a scientist. So what I wasn't clear on is what does even a scientist realistically do? Because what you see in a cartoon may not necessarily pan out exactly that way in life. And even when now you start looking at real scientists, they are highly specialized. You have guys in the physics department, you have guys in bio, in chem, people in I guess people who are doing astronauts are still and space are still in physics, but like it's very broad, right? So coming from that point where I didn't really understand what a scientist really does, I think the one thing that I held on to was just my love for science. And I usually look at science as a way to look at explain things and at the same time to provide solutions to problems, right? So that part of me that loves solving problems, the part of me that would take apart remotes when they are broken at home and fix them, that's the part that I retained. I became very interested in problem solving, and that became my career. Like I built my career more or less on providing solutions to problems.
I have a question before we even move on. You've said science, we all know science tries to provide answers. You're a Christian, you're a believer. We've heard of so many theories about the creation, the Big Bang theory, how
Scientists na Christian.
Yeah. How? Because
Gongananga.
there are scientists who actually take it as a religion.
Yeah.
They're really
I believe in
strong.
science,
Yes, I
yeah.
believe in science. I don't believe
Yes.
in God.
Yes.
And
There is a famous quote that I may not be able to phrase it correctly, but it goes something like we seek answers to so many things, and then using so many other methods, and then when we get to the pinnacle, sort of like where you're now getting the answer itself, you just find theologians there. They already arrived at the answer. Walishapata jibu kitambo sana. And to me, when you even talk about science providing answers, you're providing answers to things that exist. They did not exist because of science. The process of how that came about can be broken down to a scientific concept so that we can understand. But I firmly believe that the world is full of so much design that you cannot wish it away and think that some big bang created a design.
Brother.
Like I mean, think about it. So if I were to put water, right? If I were to put water in a balloon, we shake it, and I don't know what will exactly result in this, but it bursts. The water will go everywhere. Like there's no pattern. There is no design. It'll just go wherever it wants to go, right? But when you look at how everything in the world is just precise, how one of the things that I think makes me wonder most is like kids. How they're born and the conditions for their birth have to be so precise.
Very.
And
how they
exist. I sit down and I wonder, like, how can you think that there is no God behind all this? It's impossible. Let me even tell you a better one. And I say this because with a lot of sensitivity, because it's a sensitive thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people get conceived but don't get to term, right? There are those that conceive and get to term. Both of them are in most cases, sometimes they're still going through the same kind of what do we call them? Going through the same kind of environments, but something just happens and one
Yeah.
makes it, another
But
one
doesn't. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And maybe the question of whether that's fair for the person who did it or not is a bit more complex for this conversation right now. But the thing that I usually just remind myself is there is nothing the one who brought the baby to term could have done to bring the baby to term.
True.
The one who also did not take the baby to term, there is nothing they could have done
To bring the baby
to
to
bring the
town.
baby to term. So like both of them are equal. Your
It's not in
effort
their control.
is zero.
Yeah.
You only do what the doctors tell you to do.
Yeah.
They'll tell you don't drink this, don't take
Yeah.
this, walk like this, sleep like this,
Eat,
and all that.
yeah.
And that's it.
It.
And you will all do the same
The
thing.
bare minimum.
And God is the one who determines whether that baby comes out or not.
True.
So I tend to think that it's a bit of it will be a bit foolish to think that there is no God, because it's the if you then say that there is no God and you believe in science, then I'll tell you, then in that case, make your baby come out. Make yourself.
You see, they're trying to
and
do
bring
that
your baby come out.
using incubators, and isn't it what I've seen? They create like a womb thingy, but outside, so they have the sperm and the ovum connected, and then they nurture it, or they whatever
Good
it
question.
in electricity and all of
let's not
that.
even go very far. So where is the sperm and the
Man.
ovule coming from?
They have to get it from man.
So unless they can create it out of
They
thin
create
air,
it from. They create a
Unless you
different
can-
man. Get something else.
if
when
you
it
can
get-
create out of
God.
thin air, that's the only time you will be able to
To
be on equal
justify your
footing
science.
Yeah.
with God. Other than that, and to be honest, you will never. Like it's impossible.
Yeah, they will always try to come up with something else. I'm glad that is out of the way. We know where you stand with your beliefs and all of that. So you said growing up you had an interest in fixing things, and you've always had an interest in fixing things, and that's how you got into. You found yourself in interest in software. So is that what you pursued in campus at the first college, and then moving to JQuat? Is that what you pursued?
Yeah, so I in campus college I pursued a course called BBIT. It's yeah, I can see the disdain.
No, there's
Yeah, he did it. As
Yeah.
well, right? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I had the option of going to, I think, UON for comp science, and
I thought
going to
ulifanya
JQuat
computer science.
for IT. Yeah, I mean, I would have. I don't know what the difference would have been back then, but the one thing that probably drew me to BBIT, and I sort of thank God for it, is that there was a business element to it. So I got to understand a little bit about business as well, right? Much as I struggled with accounting, I still
Balancing
remember
books and all of
cost
that.
accounting.
Was a unit.
My poorest unit.
Really?
Yes.
Managers.
Accounting,
Eh,
balancing the books.
Mi hadi wa leo debit na credit kunisumbua. Na
You don't know what they still you're like debit credit.
Yeah, like I still have to
You're like,
think about it.
yeah.
Like debit ni gani? Okay, I have a
Credit
debit
card.
card.
You have a credit,
Like, so
credit.
where does this go? I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's crazy. And I hope none of my former teachers sees this and they're like, oh my goodness, I wasted half my life
Well,
on this. But yeah, I mean, it gave me an appreciation of what the business needs, right? So you think about it, there's elements of the way various resources are harnessed in an organization so that the organization can function. So basically like operations, right? Then you have the books, you'll have elements. I think we even did some elements of pseudo psychology. Let me call it pseudo psychology because it was sort of part of a unit. It wasn't like we did a psychology unit. But I remember there was this amazing lecturer who really took us through a bit of that. So understanding how people come together so that they can drive a business really helped me as well. So that now when I even think about any technology solutions, I'm not just thinking about what does this software do. I'm also thinking about what is the impact in the organization. Will it make work easier? Will it make work more difficult? And some of the things help me get a start in that. But I guess, if you've been in software development long enough, you actually do get to that same conclusion as well. That you're developing for people, not just so that your software can sit there. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So software developing. Umetuambia hapo behind the scenes kidogo uli graduate in 2010?
2010, yes.
2010 with BBIT.
BBIT, yes.
BBIT, nice. You've told us you have your own company, Alternate Limited.
Yes.
Wait a minute. You mentioned JQuad. Nyinyi ndo mlikuwa among the first cohort ya BBIT?
BBIT.
Because in Juja, Juja, I think it started pia around 13 years ago.
Yeah, it's likely that hatukuwa tumekaa sana. Because back in my day, in fact, the very first people to introduce business and IT as a course was Strathmore. They had a diploma back then. It was called DBIT. By the time, and that was like when I was just about to clear high school. So by the time I was getting into uni, I think they still had a diploma. That's why I didn't go. Then JQuad had now started a
the
BBIT.
bachelor's.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think, it should be among the very first cohorts.
Okay. Nimesahau swali yangu.
We got to listen about career.
Oh yeah. After you graduated with the BBIT, did you get into employment? Because your company is around, said 11 years.
Yeah.
So after graduating, what did you do? What did you venture into now?
Oh wow. So like everyone, I started at the bottom. I was employed.
Now we're here.
I was employed for all of 1 year. I was employed at a company that's a Microsoft partner, and I learned quite a bit about Microsoft products, and I still had that itch, for like getting into code. But then back then, there are very few avenues to get into the code with any Microsoft product. Then around then, that was 2010. So there's this product called SharePoint.
SharePoint.
Yes, SharePoint. Microsoft SharePoint. They released a 2010 version that allowed you to play a little bit more with the code. So I fell in love with it purely because I could actually manipulate the code.
You were smarter.
Just because I could, change the UI and things like that. It really excited me. And from that day on, that was 2010 September, when I actually started interacting with it. And after that, even after the 1 year when I left, for a very huge chunk of my life, I styled myself as a SharePoint expert. Yeah. So I would go in, look at people's problems, especially enterprises, because it fits very well in an enterprise organization. And I will build solutions based on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So that's what you did for 1 year only?
No.
Do you still do that till date?
Yes, to date I still
you still say
do
you're
a bit
a
of
SharePoint.
I don't. I've only said it now for the first time.
But you are a SharePoint.
But I am a SharePoint
expert.
I've dealt with it for more than 13 years.
You've mastered it now.
I know quite a bit about it.
Unaweza ifanya katikati usiku. That's how you master your craft.
Yeah.
That's how you master your craft. That is interesting.
Yeah.
Then after Microsoft,
So after
Them-
that, so about 2018.
mm-hmm.
So like it's first of all, the product itself has been evolving,
Mm.
and one of the things that happened was we got a bit more control with the code,
Mm-hmm.
and we could now build more comprehensive solutions, get a bit more creative with how we build on top of it, and that gave me a lot of ideas.
Mm.
So by 2018, one of the things we did in our organization was we started looking at how to create products that could then be deployed into any SharePoint system. And we did that. We got a few people to take it up. But as we were also proceeding, we started seeing this, the people who are actually making the money are going for niche products. So like you build a product in a specific space, and I'm pretty sure you've heard of things like I don't know, a lot of HR software nowadays. I see like there's seamless HR.
There's a
QuickBooks.
Yeah, so QuickBooks
there's an
is
app for
accounting.
that.
For HR.
Yes, I think I've seen a billboard. Such a thing,
There
right?
are
I'm not
so many
dreaming.
of them.
I'm not dreaming.
You're
okay,
not dreaming.
okay.
There are so many, and they are fighting for that space, right? And the reason that people will want to go to them is because that's their niche.
I would really like
we
to know
do
how that
HR.
works.
We do HR. So like when you go to that person and ask them about HR software, they're going to answer you, very authoritative.
Is that AI?
Oh no, not necessarily AI. Of course, a lot of software nowadays has
AI,
in
yeah.
it. But I'm talking about like now even just from purely a problem solving approach. People go for niche kind of sectors. They get so the idea is you stop being too broad. So it's like when you're too broad, you're just catching anybody.
Yeah.
Right. When you become niche, it becomes very easy for you to identify who your customers are and to provide value for those specific customers.
Okay.
And that is pretty much now what we did. This year, we've launched a procurement software on the cloud. So that's part of us now sort of getting out of necessarily doing SharePoint only. So now we have a procurement software built completely from scratch. It's one of the things I think I've felt most proud of in a very long time.
So before you opened your company, you felt that there was a need to solve issues. What pushed you to have your own company? Ulitoka na employment, kuna boss wako alikufanya madhara na like nope.
Like what inspired your transition?
Nope, I know my value.
Transition from
Interesting.
From employment, yeah, because it's not
entrepreneurship.
easy.
Yeah, I mean it's not easy. But there's this CEO of NVIDIA. I think his name is Jensen. I'm not so sure. So he says that if he were to go back to when he opened NVIDIA, if someone would have asked him then with what the knowledge he has now, he'll actually not open it.
Really?
Yeah. He says it's extremely difficult to run a company, and it is.
And it's a successful company right now.
Yeah.
And
Very
he still
successful.
wouldn't open
And
it.
he still wouldn't go and open if he knew what he knows now. Like the amount of heartache. I mean, think about it. You have employees. Sometimes even just the emotional drain of having to manage a company can sometimes also get to you. Right? So you have employees, if they have an issue, especially when you're very small, like us, like an issue with one person
Affects
the
entire
company in a huge way, right? Because you don't have a lot of resources to sort of fill that gap. Then also, when you're small, when you're starting out and you're small, you tend to be closely knit. You're like a family, right? Although I've seen so many other people who go like, no, companies are not supposed to be your family. But I'm
Don't
like,
invest.
man, I mean, you're there to work and then you go.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I mean, it's a good idea, but the reality is when you are, it's like if you watched movies, there are these people who usually go to like Iraq. They're posted to Iraq, soldiers.
Yeah.
Right? They're posted to Iraq, and they go through all that horror together. By the time they're getting out of Iraq, those people
The
are
bond,
tight,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I think it's the same thing, because in a startup you're facing so many challenges. Sometimes it's money, sometimes it's everybody, there's a time crunch, we have to deliver this ASAP, and it's all hands on deck. Sometimes it's, I don't know this, you know this, can you help me get upskilled on this? And in the process of all that, those small interactions, you grow very close. So I think that there is a lot of emotional investment in that sense. And as a founder, you will, and especially like even in the early days, you get so invested in retaining resources. So when someone goes, oh my goodness,
Heartache.
You cannot imagine. Then now you have to think about replacing them, getting someone, starting from scratch in some cases, because like in our case with SharePoint development, back then we didn't have a lot of people, so we'll get someone who just knows how to do development, and we have to start from scratch on SharePoint development, and it was a process.
You can feel the heaviness in that.
Process.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So you started your company alone?
No.
Okay.
There are 3 other directors, and we've managed to keep going.
And the growth, how's the
three
growth?
directors mlianza pamoja ama ni wa kukuja?
No, we started together.
All right.
So we started actually and this is the funny part, we started to build a product. We started a company so that it could build a product in the project management space. Then tukasema hatuna pesa ya kuhire developers, let us look for the money. So we looked for money for like 10 years. Telling you kuonja pesa ni kitu mbaya sana. We completely veered off from our original cost. We started just doing projects.
10 years later, tulikuanga na project.
We were supposed to do a
product. Oh wow.
What happened?
That's the product you're talking about now,
no,
the procurement one.
It has been like imepitwa na wakati. Like ilipitwa na wakati. Back when we were doing it, it would have probably made sense. It would have had an impact. But considering the kind of systems we have around at the moment,
took 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. Now you can imagine. I'm now launching a product. It's something I should have done like 9-10 years ago. And it feels like this is when I'm going back to what I was supposed to do.
Yeah, the initial
yes
purpose.
I mean, it's good we made some money.
Yeah, along the way.
I managed to pay my bills.
It's not like 10 years.
But yeah, it's if I were to do it all over again, I would actually pinch myself every time I wanted to veer away from the course.
Would you say that's a challenge of having a team of people? Because it's agree to disagree. When you have an idea and you have people to consult with, it will take a bit longer, especially if you're not on the same page.
That's true. So the only benefit I had though was that we've been a very supportive group of directors, let me say. So I wouldn't have faced too much. I think, to be honest, I've had a very easy time with my co-directors. However, definitely if you are a lot of people, making decisions becomes a problem sometimes, because you have to consult, you have to be on the same page. Sometimes you have to vote. But yeah, I mean, I've had a fairly smooth sailing. I think by and large, are mostly aligned on what we needed the company to do
Mm.
and where it needed to go.
Mm.
So it was just a matter of actioning that.
Mm.
Yeah, and we did the best we could.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vile tech inakuanga na trends, things just change.
Yeah.
Probably even hourly, not even daily. Like how do you, maybe because you're three, just how big the team is, mna agree aje sema nimeona a new trend, maybe it's I want to add an animation to a battle, mwingine anasema hapana, it's better that way. Like how do you deal with such conflict?
Interesting. So I think I can borrow heavily from the product development experience we've had with this procurement product. So what would happen was, so first of all, I designed the product. I designed the screens for everything.
Especially kwanza kitu kama wewe design, then
I designed everything.
Wants to.
So now we're in the midst of development, and now our team lead who handles the engineering team will come and say, okay, I think this should be like this. And every time we had such disagreements, I think one of the things I have loved about this experience is we would each bring to the table our the merits of our reason, right? So I want this way because maybe it fits in with the latest trends, right? Someone else is like, fine, but from a feasibility perspective, when you make me go down this road, I either have to change how we've done the code so far, or I have to make some radical decisions, even sometimes on the framework that we are using, right? And in those cases, I've had to sit back and just ask myself, now what is important? Is it having the product working, or is it having my way? Right? So there are things you will concede so that you can at least move.
Yeah.
But at the back of my mind, I know if something is not optimal, we will definitely have to revisit it. But it doesn't need to stop me from building out the product and making sure that it goes to market.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, what the customer will appreciate is a well thought out product with functionality that actually makes sense for them. Ultimately, whether the button is there or this other side, or you're using whatever brand colors, those are like secondary issues. They do have a place in like the overall experience for the customer, but those are secondary issues, and I have to find some space in my reasoning to think about it that way, so I don't over prioritize things that may not necessarily break the system. But when something is like a process, for example, is wrong, then that one there is no debate, because the minute now we sit down, you bring your facts and I bring my facts, the facts will be able to show for sure the process is like this. We need to make sure that we align. Exactly.
You see, as a podcast and as a part of this crew, sometimes we face a challenge, like you've recorded an entire episode, but then mnakuja mnapata either the audio or the video quality is whack.
How do you
can't even release that episode.
Okay.
So you have to redo it. You
Really?
have to.
Yeah.
God. You call a guest back?
Yeah. You see Mike's episode.
Yeah.
Mike Gishumbi's
Yeah.
episode. It was redone.
They don't know. You see, we're telling you this. That Mike Gishumbi.
The first episode.
Mike Gishumbi's episode.
The first
And it
episode,
was.
we were the three of us.
Yeah.
Trisian, Mike, and I. Then.
And we did 2 hours.
What did we lose? The second part of the audio.
Yeah, the second bit.
We lost the second part, and I wasn't available. So Nile Mbiombio, and he was leaving the country. So the next day, they had to Mbiombio, and Trisian did the episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
It's very interesting.
the challenges that you guys face in developing software, what kind of mistakes could cause such a setback?
Huh.
In context, let me
Yeah.
give you. Unaweza jibu na useme if it works, don't touch it.
That's it.
Even on tunaambiwangwa. Okay, that's what we developers.
What if works? If what
If the
works,
code
don't
works.
touch it.
If your code works, yeah.
Or don't mess with it.
Usiguze, I don't mess, just achana nayo.
I mean, initially, I used to think like people like Microsoft, Google, it's like they have these 100x engineers and they never make mistakes, right? So their process has to be so good.
Smooth.
They just write the code once and
That's
it goes.
No.
Yeah, that's not
That's a lie.
It's wishful thinking.
That's
Tell me
So
about
you know what happens? You write code.
yeah.
Wait.
Wait, you actually invent codes?
I mean,
How do codes work? Me don't know.
it. You write code, you learn the language.
You as long as you know the syntax, the language, the frameworks that you're gonna use, you just put it together and kakurusha mboga na kitungu.
Oh, so ni kama kuna formula, so you just know how to work your way
most
around
of this,
it.
I mean, every programming language has its own syntax or like standard for how you write things.
Okay.
How you utilize it basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's
Yeah.
that's a part of anything that I've never.
It's
gotten.
exciting.
I-
You should learn.
It's really exciting.
Learn.
I
And
would
now,
say
and
it's
right now
not
there's
an-
AI that can help you learn quicker.
If I develop an interest, I definitely will. I don't think I have that interest.
Alright.
I don't even like computers, but anyway, proceed.
So what was I saying?
Coding and
Coding.
formulating.
Oh yes.
Whatever.
So now,
codes.
so think about it this way: you have multiple people on a team, right? And they're each building maybe a different part of the product,
Different module.
different modules. Yeah.
Okay.
So sometimes, because so for that to happen, each one of them will have like their own copy on the local machine that they're using, right? So sometimes someone will we call it pushing. So like when you now
Pushing.
like when you now merge the code together, the one that was already on the cloud and the one that you have on your local machine. Unaweza push, everything stops. So maybe someone was, on their local machine, they were using different variables. Actually, what is the best scenario where that will happen? In most cases, it's that someone has been working on a different version that's sort of either higher or lower even.
Okay.
So now,
So the codes don't.
So there's a mismatch in the version. So sometimes someone might have introduced, say for example, a column on a column on the database. So their code is aware. Your code is not aware of this column. So you push that, and now you have code that just throws errors because it's not because the column, for example, needs to be fed with data, and this code is not aware that there's even that column in the first place. So you try to send a request, and it goes like, can't accept your request. So the database is like, boss, you should have sent me this data. You're not sending it.
Shoot.
So I reject like the finance bill.
So you have to start from scratch.
Not necessarily.
So, okay.
It's really something simple to fix because you just need to go and update the field that's missing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or maybe other scenarios to debug.
Yeah, I mean you'll have
What's
to debug
debug?
and just figuring out where the problem is.
Where the bug is and you debug.
Well, what is that issue?
But the bug is the problem and you debug.
Okay. Bug ni virus.
No.
Makosa.
Makosa ni
Makosa
mistake.
kwa code.
Ni mistake.
Okay. So you have to read. I didn't
have
know
to
all
rectify it.
laptops or computers can have all those things that you guys read and understand. until someone took my laptop and actually
Did
it. I'm like, wait, I thought there's specific laptops for codes and all of that. I was so shocked.
No,
I
you can do
was
it on
so-
any, and the way most of these things are lightweight nowadays. Even like Visual Studio has a very lightweight editor. You can do it on any laptop almost. In fact, I dare say you can do it on any laptop.
Dennis. Hata imagine I was asking him just sasa his son is there. Tracy nilikuwa namuuliza kama mtoto wake ataanza kumuita Deno, Jonas anamuita Deno.
Nana namuita Deno. We can't call him Deno. It's Ngahu. It's always been Ngahu since we were kids.
So interesting thing, there are various camps. Kuna wale watu wanaita Deno.
Really?
Kuna watu wengi sana by the way. I'm coming to realize there's quite a number of people who love the name Ngahu.
Yeah, it's unique.
It's unique.
Na
Yeah.
Baba Luke.
Baba Luke, of course, now nikienda kwa wazee ninaitangwa Baba Luke.
Unamshauri ita ule Baba Jaden.
Ai. Ebu atusho.
Avoid Mike.
Oh wow.
One thing I struggle with ni bootstrap. So unaweza
What?
to guide.
Please explain to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
That's
Same. Let me explain. Cannot
Tuanza tu
explain.
na definition what's boots. I don't
Acha
know.
nidefine, acha nishine,
Bootstrap
Deno.
ama bootstrap.
Shine.
Bootstrap.
Bootstrap is how you integrate, say, a website or a web app. Ikwe kwa hii screen, you work on this screen, you work on that monitor screen.
At the same time.
No, not at the same time. Like ikwe, you see how maybe TikTok won't work on a screen that's like this. Itajiweka.
Oh, itaji segment.
Then this part and this part will just
Blank.
be
Black.
So now how to integrate it so that ina fit kwa hiyo screen, ita fit kwa hii screen bado.
Oh.
Venye bado ukitumia kwa computer
Oh wait, there's
yeah.
some...
Yeah, you have to fit it kwa all devices.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's our problem because even when I was managing the website I used to manage, which I still think bado hata tunaweza start ajaiweza ku integrate to the phone
the
like perfect.
responsiveness.
Yeah.
So one thing I realized about
Ngoja nime explain vizuri.
you have so like Bootstrap is just like one of the many frameworks used to bring about the actual concept is called responsiveness, right? So responsiveness of a web app website, and so it's easier said than done when it comes to using it, because if you just apply it directly also there can be unintended consequences. So one interesting thing I noticed, for example, is depending on what table you're using, you might find that itakuja poa on a mobile device, right? So let's say whatever you are viewing as a table there, right? So me, I've taken like a mobile device, and then the table does not resize.
Yes.
So it extends all the way, and I have to just scroll looking for the columns, right? So
I've seen that with a lot
part
of
of it,
schools, whatever.
yes. So part of that is in also having a better UX kind of consideration. I think it's more of a UX consideration than a UI one, because Bootstrap and most of these responsive the frameworks for driving responsiveness are built to work automatically. So the minute you've used it and you've not like changed like some major things, if you're, for example, with Bootstrap, you will have like the grids approach. So you'll arrange your information into grids, and then you'll define how it appears on the site by either using one column for smaller okay, not one column really, but it's the size basically of that we call them divs. Divs. DIV.
Wow.
So the size is what determines like this the amount of space it takes up on the screen. So you'll have like two, I think you can use 2, 3 for like the small ones, You can have 6 for taking up half, or 9 to take up 3/4, and then 12 to take up the whole thing. So when you now access that on a mobile device, typically it should resize, right? But if you have components that do not play ball with responsiveness, then before you use them, or before you indicate that my entire site is completely responsive, it may make sense to look at using different components, or arranging your the stuff on your site a bit differently, just so that when now the responsiveness element is taken into consideration, things don't look like they are. Like, one thing I hate by there is the tables. Like, those are the ones that just make me feel ni kama it's getting outside the screen. Na lazima ulivute na ka fishing
too
rod.
hectic.
But yeah, I mean, you can have a lengthier discussion about it if you want to get better guidance on that.
Okay.
Are you going to bill him?
So
You
it's
better.
not,
should, eh?
You should.
it's not even a
You know
matter
the
of
problem
if.
by the way with IT people
You-
is we don't bill people.
Bill,
don't
hakuna
bill. I don't know
kitu,
why we
hakuna
don't bill
kati ya
people.
pro bono
I'll bill
hapa. You're giving knowledge. You're teaching him, and he's going to use that to earn money.
Yeah, to
So
earn
why
money.
not you earn
I
money?
might, might as well get the money.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
I'll
might.
send you my professional email.
I'll put me invoice. How is the work life, marriage, fatherhood balance? Because I can imagine owning a company is not a walk in the park, and you still have all these other.
So actually we may take BBIT seriously, because there's a business part for entrepreneurs and the IT
And the
part.
IT, definitely. So the balance is a tricky one. When you're an entrepreneur, your business is like a child to you. It's like a child. It's like a wife, and it has its own demands, right? And sometimes I look at other, and I see this a lot with other people in trades like mechanics, plumbers, and they're very, very, very careful to make sure that by the time wanamaliza job, watu wenye wamefanya kazi nao, they will be paid. Right? So they're like, now tumefanya kazi imefika hapa, we need at least something to wasikae hivyo njaa, right? And there's even one of them who says bana lazima nichunge watoto wangu. And they're all people, but
Yeah.
you know, like he feels that obligation to them, and it's so it's a tight balance, because then you have to make sure that the business runs and that it's going to thrive, but at the same time, you know, family is not they're not waiting for you to do your business so that you can come home. In fact, that's even like the worst scenario. And I have found myself in that same situation where you go and spend so much of your energy at work, so much, you give your best energy at work. By the time you're coming home, you're like, acha niwapatie hizi bakshish. But yeah, you know, si mnaelewa mtatoa wapi,
Nina provide.
Nina provide.
Unajua mnalala kwa nini? Ninalipa rent, na school fees,
you know.
Yeah.
And interesting thing now, as like, especially now that I've been doing a lot of this alone since my wife has been away on study, I've come to appreciate that the lives of your family members don't stop because you are big shotting out there, you know, because you're meeting other CEOs, so that you can get deals. Kwanza, my kids, they don't care. They don't care.
They don't even understand what you do. You're still
so they
dad.
understand. They might have an understanding because
Yeah.
both of them say nafanyanga kazi ya computer. So I'm like, it's close enough.
Yeah, at least.
It's close
Yeah.
enough, right? So they won't have that latitude for giving me that space. Like now, if my kid needs to go to school in the morning, I'm done. We drop him. He's not going to wait at it because now, Dad, oh, you had a long night, Jana. You had to sleep late. Now you can sleep in.
I understand you.
I understand the suffering. No. Need Daddy. I'm getting late. You get out.
Yeah.
I need to go to school, right? And similarly, like, and I will see this with my daughter. The school wasn't so far from where we lived, so she would come to me. I'm clearly about to get into a meeting. Then she asked me, "Are you not taking me to school?" I'm like, "Oh, okay. Okay, let me finish this and we go." Right? So sometimes, obviously, it's not possible, and I'll tell her that it's not possible. I'll come for you in the afternoon, and very understanding. Also, they'll go with the house help. But now, the fact that the expectation is that I'm going with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend this time walking to school with you, and we're gonna talk about trees and smells that we don't know where they're coming
And butterflies.
from. Butterflies.
Yeah.
And running across the road because we don't want to be stepped on by cars. That's what she enjoys.
Yeah.
And I had better give her that because in another 10, 12, 15 years, she won't be doing that. In fact, she might even be telling me, "Now, Dad, you need to give me space."
Deuces.
Right? Like I love you, my father,
But it's a bit too much.
Yeah, now I am growing up, so I need to go out with my girls. I need to do my own things, and in fact, as I'm doing this my own things, I'll need your wallet.
Yeah.
How old is she?
She's 3 right now, turning 4 in like 4 months or something. 3 actually. So yeah, I mean, it's important to realize that ultimately, when all is said and done, job inaweza like right now, very many businesses have closed, right? The economic environment in Kenya is very bad, right? And very many businesses have slowed down. People are losing jobs. I've had to do that as well. So I know for a fact that businesses, jobs, none of that is for life. But the moments that you share with your family, that's what keeps. And you might want to you might be I guess tempted to sort of put it aside until later. But I think also that's where a lot of people from the previous generation went wrong, because they were going out to look for money. And then, because I've also been in youth ministry, I've seen how teenagers will come, and you can tell clearly like there's no proper relationship or connection with their parents. And that's not what I want with my kids. I want to be present. I want to be daddy number 1, or I want to earn that title because I already have it on a cup somewhere. No. So I want to earn that title.
Yeah.
Are you the cool dad or the strict dad?
I am. Wow, I think
Ani anaombangwa ruhusa.
I'm a strict dad. For a fact, I'm a strict guy. The mom is very, very cool. But at the same time, I'm also cool. So you just have to find a balance, because also you cannot be
strict every time.
That will also create a wall between you and the kids. So I have to balance. So sometimes it's time to be strict, we be strict. Sometimes we also engage in fun stuff, create memories, so that when now they've grown up, they're going to be able to say, by the way, Daddy used to do this with us. Daddy used to take us to these places.
So
that's what I'm looking for.
So when maybe their mother akisema go ask your dad, or kuangi na ile mentality ya you ni straight no, ama wanajua umse tunaweza bargain.
Yeah, I used to be a no person. It was like, yeah, you
Usemangi
guaranteed.
rudi
Let's
kwenye
first of all say no.
ametoka.
Umefanya homework.
Let's first of all say no. Then we are going to find out what you actually wanted. But I think I'm a bit more chill now. This year, bana nimefinyangwa. I have had to come down from my high horse. To be honest, I'm a bit more chilled out. I say yes a bit more. And also I'm also learning that kids need to be given autonomy sometimes so that they can also develop in their own way. Because now when I'm saying no, sometimes I'm saying no from my point of view. This is what I grew up with. This is what I knew. But it's not the same for you. Like, and it's, of course, if it's something that's moral or ethical or about good manners, that one, like, we cannot
compromise.
Yeah. But there are some things that are just about preference.
Yeah.
And you need to know where the issue is really just about preference. I mean, let them be their own person.
Yeah.
Let like my son loves doing things that I would possibly sometimes think are I will not be comfortable with. One of those things is like he loves the colors. He loves color pink because he loves colors. Now me bana, kabla niguzane na pink, like unaguza kwanza na kamti. Then
because it's considered feminine.
Is it safe? Then now, unaikaribia pole pole ukichungulianga, But him is very comfortable with it, and I cannot now force him to hate pink because
you don't like it. Yeah.
Actually, I think it's more like we were cultured.
That's true.
We were cultured not to like pink because it is not manly. But
She doesn't like pink.
I have to.
Well, I just hate pink.
You hate pink.
I just
as just I hate pink.
I just
right?
hate pink.
Yeah, me, I don't hate pink just because I hate pink. I hate pink because we are cultured to think that pink is not a manly color.
Yeah.
Right? But now I see so many other people, men who are comfortable wearing pink. I mean, I think I also look nice in pink, in a pink shirt.
Yeah.
I will not wear it.
But
Nishaona
mali mtu on X, they said mwanaume ufai kuwa atakuwa na ndoo ya pink. It's hilarious. It's hilarious, please. So
you need to let them thrive.
Yeah.
And for you to even know they're thriving, you need to be present
individually, which is an amazing
individually
thing.
Yes, that's also very important.
Individually.
So you need, like, now I'm with my son alone right now. He's taken me everywhere I've gone today.
It's a boys' hang.
Yeah, I mean, it's we are just having some daddy and son time. So it's fun. There's times I'll go with my daughter and she'll tell me we go, like, she's a bit more chilled out. She'll appreciate just a walk. We'll do there's a time I took her out for lunch, but mostly we do walks. So she's chilled out in that space. Like, that's what she wants. My son wants to look at cars,
play.
Let's
play
hang out and talk about Volkswagen,
yeah.
Subarus.
I can actually say that because he's really on the phone.
Nataka kuchangiwa
gari. Which is interesting.
If I don't know that that's his the thing he wants, then I will not be able to connect with him. Yeah. So it's important to actually figure out what that is, and continue just to hit on that and help him to explore other things as he grows up. Give him the space. Know what atakutoanisha pesa, and it's okay.
It's fatherhood. I mean,
it is.
It's you providing, which is a very important thing. As we are almost wrapping up, what has been your greatest success as a business owner? And also let's look at what has been your greatest, not failure, but setback as a business owner. And then to ask you the same question, you said the other guy, Alisema, if looking back he wouldn't start the company, would you, from what you've been through so far in 11 years, what would be your response?
Wow. Okay. So because I agree with that statement a lot, I might be pulled to saying that, you know, maybe starting a business is not an easy task, right? Would I go back and not do it? I'm a bit gray on that. I think.
Will you stick to employment?
I think I'm. Yeah. The problem is, like, even now I've had the ability. So here's what I like. Having a business has given me the autonomy, not just to work, because I think this is what most people focus on, to work on like what are they called? To work hours that I want, flexible hours, right? Like, I had flexible hours before people even knew what flexible hours were. But I think one of the major benefits that I have had in that time that we were not focusing on product development was that I entered into multiple industries, and that also I would say is part of the thing that I'm very happy about in terms of, like, a success. That I was able to continuously adapt to different industries, right? So I have worked with people in financial services, banks. I've worked with an automotive sector player, a major in automotive sector player in Kenya. I've worked with government. I've worked with hospitals. I've worked with schools. Like, I have literally gone into multiple industries and adapted each time. And for me, that's very important, because I know even for very many people, when they look at their career growth, one of the things that sometimes you see a lot from people is that they feel like they've hit a ceiling, right? I've been doing this day in, day out, you know nothing else. But when you're continuously pushing yourself to learn new things from a different industry than you're used to, it pushes you, and there's a bit of a thrill to that. So I think that for me is a major plus. Setbacks, this economy is not a joke. It's been really difficult for us the last couple of months, and we've somehow survived. We've had to, cut back on things, but here we are. If actually there is a regret that I may have is, not having been very clear on when to tell people that, the company is actually not doing well. We cannot afford you, right? Because I was always like, these are my people. I don't want them to suffer, But the fact is, you are now suffering together, and the company will not be able to really do much for them in that particular state. And it was a very humbling lesson for me, to be able to say that, to know that sometimes telling someone that this is as far as we can go is just as important as being able to retain that person. Because sometimes me telling you that this is as far as this company can take you can actually now give you can actually help you now broaden your mind and allow you to seek out other opportunities instead of staying there and being told, okay, now you don't have salary. So now, okay. So now to do. Na tunafanya kazi tufanye. So that's not what you want. So I think that's about it. And of course, I'm very proud of the product that we've built. It's amazing. I think it's going to revolutionize the procurement space. There's still a lot more we have to give in terms of, like, building it. So I'm looking forward to
Has it launched?
We've done a
Can we talk about it a little bit?
Sure.
Okay. Tell us about the procurement thing that you've built.
All right. So So let me not talk too much.
Yeah.
Because I know I can.
Yeah. Say what you have to say.
But
not everything.
We are building a solution that covers the entire procurement process, and we've started with things. In procurement there's a process called purchase request. You might be familiar with this even like from church, like when you're making a requisition, right? So there's purchase requests. There's another module for bid management. We have another one for managing purchase order approvals and deliveries. And so deliveries in this case is like receiving the deliveries, and then one for doing payment requests. Now, this is just for the start. We still have a lot more coming. We have budget and spend management coming in. We'll be having things like inventory management, because we really want to, have something that actually works for people end to end. And what we're even telling guys is, look, we don't even want you to leave your existing product. If we have some value that we can bring to you that is not being provided, because I know in most cases what we are finding is guys who have what we call ERPs. And ERPs tend to be mammoths. By the time you get
I don't know what ERP.
You don't know.
Yeah.
No, an ERP has like a lot of functionality in it. It can have procurement, it can have HR, finance, so many things. And depending on even what flavor, you could have even things like warehousing in there and all that. So by the time someone who has invested, and we're not talking about small investors, like a lot of money into an ERP, leaves an ERP, there must be something seriously wrong.
Yeah.
So we are coming in and we know very well, like in especially the element of bid management, we definitely have a lot of, we have a huge advantage in that sector. And basically what we're telling our clients is, look, if you feel that there is some deficiency on your end, especially from managing vendors point of view, we'll be more than happy to even integrate with your ERP. I have a dev team that is dedicated to that exactly. So, tell us this is what we have. This is the ERP we have. We want to integrate. Boom, we do it for you.
So the product that you guys have created, the procurement thing, who is it for?
Yes, so it's
who did you have in mind when you were creating?
So it's so our ideal customer is someone who does a lot of volumes when it comes to procurement. So someone who procures a lot. And what I'm noticing is that sometimes that customer can be a big customer, can be like a big corporate. It can also be a small clinic, because a clinic will have consumables being purchased every month. Yeah. Right. So those are people that would benefit from being able to manage that system. In some cases, even some of them might not even have the entire process properly mapped out internally. So even having the system sort of now forces them to create some form of governance structure around it. Yeah. And that's part of what we would actually love to see. People getting their processes become better, making their processes better. Yeah. And seeing how then infusing technology is also
instead of having so many receipts.
Yeah.
And having to take inventory every single time.
The thing I'm actually looking forward to us building the inventory module, because I've had so many conversations with clients, with even friends. Even I think yesterday I was having a conversation with someone who was telling me they're doing stock take. It's like one
stock taking is stress.
It's one of the most stressful things.
Stressful.
And now I want to know how can I make this less stressful for people. Yeah. So that's now you see, this is the kind of stuff I live for.
Yeah.
When I come into a place and someone is like, oh my god,
Eye stock checking is
need
stressful.
to take out my hair because of this.
Yeah.
I want to help you so that you can actually think of it as an easy process.
That's nice. It's beautiful to see how technology can is fitting in everywhere, and we have to adapt into this changing trends every single now and then. And it's beautiful that you even talked about it, because manze, when I own a business, nakupigia simu nakwambia ngao nataka ile procurement thing, please.
Na nitakulipisha.
Of course, it's okay.
I will bill you.
It's okay.
That's the most important part.
We do not believe in pro bono work. No. Here you're sharing a lot of gems. Hiyo time nimekuja kwako one on one, so lazima utanitumia invoice. I don't think there's any other question. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. To learn about managing a business for 10 years. Wait, umejibu swali ya if you do it again?
Maybe in a roundabout way. Because the answer is I think because I've had a lot of fun. I've found a lot of fulfillment in like entering multiple industries and solving things, being able to adapt like that. That kind of challenge has given me the some appreciation for running a business. It's not something I would say no to, but I wouldn't look at it with the same lenses for sure.
Yeah.
Like I now know
it's not all fancy.
that it's not
it's not all fancy.
It's not. And then also there's a tendency for entrepreneurs, especially first time entrepreneurs, to think that you can do everything.
Oh god.
That you can do everything. So, you go, you look at an expert, he's charging you X, and then you're like, no, I'll rather do this myself. But what that does is that it splits up your time. So time that you could have focused on one thing and done that one thing well, you now have to split it among multiple things. And so what happens eventually is your progress slows down, right? But if you had experts covering other elements, which is a mistake I made personally. So if I had experts, not necessarily even experts, but even dedicated resources covering other things, I think the progress would have been faster, because then I wouldn't have been I'm looking here, I'm looking there, looking here. So like it's like a jack of all trades kind of master of none kind of scenario. And that having your attention pulled in so many different places, you are sure something is going to drop.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah. The progress
kinds of disorients you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for giving us the highs and the lows of being a software developer. I think najua Larry amelan kitu kwanza
hapo kwa too much about software, maybe
bootstrap. That's what you call it? Or bootstrap, not bootstrap. Okay.
No, kalan
nimelan divs, ERPs. There's a lot naweza waambia hata mimi mkuje mnihoji juu naweza kuwa software developer in the next few months. Anyway, thank you so much Ngahu for giving us your time. Sure. Thank you to viewers. I hope your family is going to watch this.
Oh, of course they will.
They have
my family will watch. In fact, we will huddle around a TV.
And they'll subscribe.
To watch me on TV. And they will subscribe.
And they'll subscribe.
In fact leo naenda kuambia wote subscribe.
Hata na hiyo tablet, hata na tablet ya mtoto utasubscribe na
mtoto hana tablet.
iPad then.
Tunanga screen time.
Really?
No, we don't do screen time.
That's a good thing. That's a
like we really
limit it. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. So thank you to those who have gotten to this point. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to us. If you've enjoyed the episode, and I know you have, please subscribe. Follow us on social media platforms down below here. They're somewhere. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Songa Play, Spotify. We're also on Spotify, so please listen to us. Stream, watch us live. Episodes drop every single Thursday at 5:30 p.m. So let's meet on the next episode. Adios.